Essay 1, Option C, which is classification and division. This is just a quick walkthrough of how to do that particular option. So the big picture of this essay assignment option is that you're going to choose some category of like person, place, or thing. I want to say people are kind of the easiest to do, but it doesn't have to be people. And then you are going to use your essay to categorize items within that category into multiple types. So a couple of examples before I break down the order, like it could be, types of pizza. If you watched the option B video, I used the example of like Chicago deep dish pizza. So say people think pizza's all the same, but you're a pizza connoisseur and you want people to know that there are different kinds of pizza and you need to know the difference. That might be a good option for you. If you're really into like crime shows, you could talk about, everybody thinks they just call these things crime shows, but there's different types of crime shows. Or, if you're really into hip hop or any other genre of music and people just sort of lump it all together and you're like, no, there are distinctions and different types within this category. This could be the essay topic for you to use. So if you pick this one, you want whatever that category is. It's some kind of group. A lot of times genre is a thing if you're talking about popular culture like books or TV or movies or whatever, video games. It could be types of a certain kind of food, types of people. I know when I'm thinking of examples of what I would write about for this based on my own experience, I might talk about the different types of preschool moms or preschool parents. It's usually moms, just because I have a kid in preschool and I observe the different types of parents that are there. I might do different types of movie zombies because there are different types. I might do, different types of vacations, different types of college students, college freshmen, and, use my experience to explain the different categories that people can fall into. So you probably got something that you know a lot about that would work really well for this. So if you pick this one, what you want to do, you want to first introduce the category that you're going to be dividing, whether it's types of people or foods or shows or whatever it is. Introduce whatever it is that you're classifying into multiple types. Then describe those types one at a time. Probably you just want a paragraph for each type. So if it's different types of pizza, you want to talk about like, here's the deep dish, here's the like fast food pizza, here's the like really authentic New York style or whatever it is. But you give each type its own discussion, and then you give examples and details that help distinguish between the types. So if they fall into this category, this is what you're looking for. Categorizing things is a very logical task, and so being able to do that and choose which details to include to distinguish is part of a logical process. As you get further in the essay, you might decide you want to contrast the new types with the old ones, and that is cool. Probably don't spend too much time doing that, but you can like remind the reader of things you said about a different category and how this one is different. A couple of other examples, I've seen there's a lot of memes out there where, there's pictures of like which one of these people is how your month is going, or, there were a lot of ones during quarantine of different types of quarantine people, or particularly I saw a lot of quarantine moms and trying to distinguish between the types. There's a really great article linked on this week's page called The 5 Different Types of Becky, talking about different categories of white lady and what makes one different from the other. So you got a lot of different ways you could take this. You could turn it into a very funny essay if you wanted to. So if that sounds appealing to you, this might be your best option. And so just a quick visual outline of how you would do this one. The introduction is just where you establish, what are you breaking into types? Why might somebody care about breaking this into types? And then I would just say spend a body paragraph on each one of your categories. You might have 2 categories, you might have 3, you might have 4. Much past 5, you probably don't want to go that far. It just doesn't need to be that long. But just give each category its own paragraph, label it, and then just talk about what would make something belong into this category versus the other ones. And so it involves a logical process of figuring out what makes one different from the other. What do you need to mention, and what stuff that all of them have this, so you don't need to mention that. And so it's a logical process you'll be going through as you do this. And then when you're done, you just kind of wrap it up with a conclusion, review what your categories were, and then, you might want to also talk about why might this be useful to have these categories when you think about things that belong to this group.